Peace, family. I'm gonna be talking about that life care today. Are you part of the life care system? Get with G and J. Join the life care system. System of self mastery. What are you waiting for? Come on, come on. We going to the show. It's time to start. All right. So, we're gonna talk about life care today. One of the issues that I've been wrestling with, and for a long time, I've been talking about this concept of self mastery. I've been talking about the 224. Thanks to y'all, we was able to talk about the 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right, so we got all these steps to 224 self help process, self mastery. They all line up under self mastery. I need to be clear about that, right? Self mastery is the true goal. But when we look at self mastery, right, the name is a misnomer, is a misname, right? Because it's not the self that actually need mastery. It's the other aspects, because the self is absolute, complete, and perfect. Absolute, complete, and perfect. The self is that part of your being that is absolute, complete, and perfect, and not influenced by external circumstances. Right? That's that small part. I ain't gonna say small part, but it's that small voice in the back that be giving you information. That it's sort of like your intuition and your spirit. All, you know what I'm saying, it's composed of all those things. So I can't define it, right? But the point that I'm trying to make is it's not the self that need mastery. It's the personality, right? And most of us are running our lives through our personality and our egos. These are the two youngest parts of our being that's trying to run everything. I mean, because I want you to think about this. And I spoke to you about this before. We have personality and ego that is exactly the age you are right now. So I'm 49 at this point in time. This means that my ego and my personality is 49 years old. But science shows me that the cells in my body are as old as the stars themselves. According to the spiritual belief I have, my spirit is old. Right? Spirit is old as energy. It's been around, it's been existing. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? All of the things that make me up are much older than my personality and my ego. But most of us run our lives. It's sort of like allowing Miss Sasha Mosh to run my house. She decide on when we go grocery shopping. She decide on where we go on a daily basis. We know that the house will fall apart. But when you allow your personality and your ego to run your life, right, you put yourself at jeopardy. So self-mastery is about learning to bring those things under control so that we could work and pull all the parts of our being together. And in a sense, bring all of our resources, since today is Ujamaa, bring all of our personal resources together so that we can start learning to work and start to learn to listen to the wisdom of that self. Plug into that intuition, plug into that spirit, plug into the deepest part of our mind. You know what I'm saying? Where all of the wisdom, well, all of the wisdom dwells. So bring it back to life care, right? When we talk about life care, right? Now, also let me state, Nguzo Saba Challenge is about introducing you to self mastery. Now, what is self mastery? Yeah, y'all know I'll be on it, family. I'll be on it. Hold on. All right, self mastery. Self mastery is life care. All right, self mastery is life care. Right now, so boom. All right, what do you mean life care? Right, because now I had to come up with something because you got healthcare system. We need to go beyond the healthcare system. We not only need to take care of their health, but we need to take care of their health in a culturally appropriate way. Because what we need to understand is that a lot of this medicine was not designed for us. I want you to understand this. See, we have this universal motif, right? Where we are universal people and we all are humans and we're all the same. No, we're not. No, we're not. You know what I'm saying? We all are humans. But there's nothing wrong with us being different. You know what I'm saying? So medicines are not being created for you. Understand that. So there may be some extra effects. We already know that a lot of this medicine is maintenance medicine. We already talked about that. This is more of a sick care system. What we need to start introducing is a life care system, right? So in self-mastery, what I'm doing is, boom, I'm connecting it to life care, right? What's life care? Like I told you on the video before, life care, self-mastery is life care. The process of harnessing the ashe or the life force in our life by the systematic use of life-giving principles. Systematic use of life-giving principles. What do you mean by that? This means that we establish a personal system. Like, we all don't have to have the same system, but we establish a system where we are able to plug into a guidance system, right? A guidance system of principles, right? Because we got principles. We got these principles, man. We know the principles. A lot of us do. You got kids, you got people that could quote them, but we're not living them. We're not stepping into them in a systematic way. And what the Nguzo Saba Challenge does, it allows you to reflect on your principles in a systematic way. It allows you to develop and build a systematic process for your life. The best life is achieved by engagement with systematic processes. I've been vibing on that one for days, man. And I'm sitting up here like, damn. I want you to understand the power of aligning your life with a systematic process, right? So now, there's a certain time you get up, there's certain things that you do when you get up, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we start building on that. And I already spoke to you about doing it like a minute a day, taking a minute, self-mastery moment. If you can't do it right away, at the same time every day, take 1 minute and just take one part of the Nguzo Saba Challenge and do it. The challenge is 21 days, but you can do it as long as you want. So this means that if it take you 2 years to get up to the point where you could do the whole 21 days, family, have at it, right? If you and I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen within that 2-year period. You're gonna come up with your reflection on the Nguzo Saba Challenge, right? You're gonna come up with your reflection, and this is all I want. I want you to start establishing a systematic process. Now, what's beautiful about systematic processes is that we know that when we do stuff over and over again, especially around young people, they start picking them up. So as we start learning to harness our life force, as we start learning to direct our life force, because right now our life energy is just shooting out from us. Our shape is just shooting out. And I'm telling you right now, the system, the way it is sucking up your life energy. You're making other people's other people rich with your ashe. You giving other people luck with your ashe. It's our ashe that keeps America safe. I'm just saying, family, you are powerful. You are powerful. Right? So let me just go through what so the title today is Life Care, Harnessing Your Life Force. And the question I ask, are you harnessing your ashe? You know, and when I mean harness, it's sort of like the ashe is the horse, and you have this bridle, and you got this wagon called your life and your family that you need to carry. And you got this big, powerful horse, and you refuse to harness it. So now you got all this land out here, this land called your life that need to be tilled. You know what I'm saying? And you out there with a hoe, when you got this big ass horse sitting right here, you ain't hook up nothing to this horse and have this horse help you break this ground. We have this energy force called ashe that's been called different things in different cultures, but it's culturally appropriate for us to call it ashe, or it's some other names that I'm gonna look up for you, but they come directly from us. Right? Now, that life energy, and y'all got to understand this, right? This is why I culturally appropriate things, and I talk about culturally appropriate, culturally inappropriate. I culturally go out and appropriate things. Why? Because there's a certain power in the language of our people. There's a certain power, there's a certain connection that we get when we start doing culturally appropriate things, and especially with the words like ashe. Ashe connects us to something older than us as an individual, and possibly older, you know what I'm saying, than older than most things we know. So these words have power. So I'm saying I culturally appropriate them. So I do stuff like the ashe breath, right? I take old practice, or a practice that supposedly comes from somewhere else, and I take it and I put in some form of fashion, I put our word on it. And I have people recite our words over and over again because there's power in our words. It's called a mantra, right? We doing mantras that's energizing other people's culture. Understand, cultures are living organisms, and I need y'all to understand this. They're living organisms, and they will either benefit you or they will leech off of you. If the culture came from your genetic line, if your genetic line is within the culture, you can use that culture to catapult yourself to where you need to be. If not, and you don't have the right combination, that culture will leech off of your life energy. It will suck off your ashe and start calling it chi, or start calling it prana, or start calling it sexual energy and shit like that. They'll leech off of your energy because you're plugging into something that is not you. You're plugging into practices that are not you. You're eating food that is not you. We have a sacred relationship with our food. We have a sacred relationship with our language. We have a sacred relationship with our past. We have a sacred relationship, and we need to start holding it sacred. And we need to start developing the systematic processes that help us go back and engage. I know we can't speak the language, but we could start taking parts of it and start using it for key things in our lives. What's a more key thing at this point in time than the days of the week? Every last one of us is counting down the days of the week. Today is tomorrow's party night. We track time, do we not? So by me taking the days of the week and then throwing on our principles, I'm plugging us back into something cultural. And I'm using that cultural energy to help you develop a system just by you waking up and being like, oh, it's Ujamaa, great Ujamaa. If only us on this video understand it, you get to be affirmed and get to affirm somebody else and get to speak a language that only we have. So when we talk about a culture, is almost the same definition as a nation, a stable, historically developed group of people, territory, economic life, distinctive culture, language in common. We have a language in common. I say it's Ujamaa, and you understand. 50 other people might not understand what the hell me and you talking about. Me and you getting a conversation about Ujamaa. We getting a conversation about life force. We getting a conversation about some of the other stuff that if you are in Nyame, we got our language, right? And we just, and we still building, right? So the point that I'm trying to make to you, that is that we need to be able to call things by, in a sense, a name that connects it directly to us. So we're able to pull, because we claim the whole continent, we're able to pull on names from all over Africa. Because a lot of us claim Native American in us, we could call on the energies of the Native American because it flows in our veins. Actually, family, those of us that's here, we're hybrid. We're hybrid, right? So being a hybrid, that means that the culture that we are forming, the culture that we are making, is also a hybrid. But let me tell you something special about hybrids, right? Hybrids, right, are usually the next step in the evolution of a species. We're genetic mutations. I like the term that they use on X-Men, Homo superior. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is, because think about this, we have been taken as a group and thrown into the fire and the hell of North America and have been beaten. Because if you look at the process of making a sword, if you look at the process of smelting metal, right? Making steel. The process for making steel is, in a sense, metaphorically very similar to the process in which and how we were made here. We was thrown into a pot and the heat was turned up until we melted and we all had to become one great goop, and we was taken out. Some of us was scooped out and poured into a mold, and the mold was allowed to be cooled, and then they took the hammer to us. It's the same process. We have been shaped and formed for greatness, family. You just need to realize that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, and ain't nothing wrong with it, right? Because really when it comes down to it, far as American, you're the only one. Yeah, I know a lot of people gonna get mad at that. Far as American, you know everybody else, because I want you to think about this. Everybody else could trace their line back to somewhere else. Ours dead stops here. Now, some of us are lucky enough to be able to trace, but you can't really trace your family line back because they broke they broke that connection. So in a sense, we were born here. Not saying we're not connected to Africa, but you got to understand, family, this puts us in a unique position. Dr. Claude Anderson called it a non-immigrant status. You're a non-immigrant. You know what I'm saying? You were born. You was born. You weren't necessarily born of the land, but you was born out of the concept of America. We are we are the and I know some of y'all gonna go off on me. We are the children of America. I said children's. Damn. You know what I'm saying? We are the offspring of America. We are the embodiment of the idea of what America is. But all right, so let's get to it. Question is, are you harnessing your Ashe? Do you even know about Ashe? You know what I'm saying? That life force. Can you? Some of y'all might be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might be able to feel it. You know what I'm saying? But when we start doing this process, what I'm asking you to do is to plug into it a little bit deeper so that you can start living a better life. Not just financially, because this is beyond just financial shit. Right? I need y'all to understand. Financial is a part of it. What I want you to do is to get the peace, the power, the joy piece together. I want you to get the internal workings. Because once you got all this working inside of you, what you need will be attracted to you. Right? Some of y'all some of y'all can get it without totally having this totally down. But if you want to be happy, not just happy, if you want to be joyous, if you want to be powerful, if you want to be peaceful, as Brother Wakese had taught us, right? We have to start aligning ourselves with a systematic process, right? So Ashe is known in different cultures as Chi, Ki, Prana, and etc. But we need to start calling it what it is to us. Okay? We're unique people. We have a unique way of seeing the world. And we need to start recognizing that. And in a sense, we need to start placing that, in a sense, making it primary like other people do with theirs, right? Because if I was to go into a martial arts class, I was going to a Asian studio and start doing kung fu, and they start talking about chi and shit, and I say, "Oh, you mean Ashe?" They'd be like, "No, no, 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 that's different." You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you why it's different. I'll tell you why chi is blah 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 blah. Because for them, their shit is primary, and there's nothing wrong with us having something in our existence that's primary, family. There's nothing wrong with that. This force flows around us and through us and connects all of us. I'm talking about Ashe. We consume Ashe to live we consume Ashe to live from other beings and elements. Every time you sit down to eat, family, you are consuming Ashe. It's the Ashe that your body extracts out of there, right? When you breathe, especially breathe properly, you are extracting the Ashe. Your lungs are extracting the Ashe out of it and releasing the rest of it back out into the world. When you drink water, you're consuming the Ashe force, that life force. You know, maybe one of our children will come up with a device where we can sense and trace Ashe and look at Ashe levels. But the point is, but they won't do that if they don't know about it. Right? At least the idea, you know what I'm saying? The idea, the myth, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, a lot of people for a long time, like, Chi don't exist, Prana don't exist and shit. But the Indians and the Chinese, they've been sticking on that shit. Japanese, they got the Ki, they've been sticking on that shit. They have a traditional part of their culture that stick on that shit. Now scientifically it's been proven. Why? Because the kids have been primed to look for it. They've been taught to look for it. And I keep on telling y'all, the one idea that I don't see nobody really stressing is, as our consciousness expands, so does the universe. It's working like that for other people. We need to start developing our own little cosmos and watch it start expanding as we start becoming conscious of our reality. And I'm about to get into that in a second. Hold on. By learning about this force, we can learn to manipulate it to help us in our lives. When we learn about this force, we can start adding to it and directing it towards what we need. Now, it's deeper than just learning how to use it in the fight, right? But it's a source that we're going to start being able to pull on. We already are able to pull on it, right? If you're doing this practice, right? So now, this is what extends life. This is what gives you a healthy life. This is what connects you to peace, power, and joy. Life cares about learning to harness our Ashe to increase our peace, power, and joy. Life care is the process of harnessing the Ashe in our life by the systematic use of life-giving principles. That sounds familiar because it comes directly from the African openness to the tree of life. You know what I'm saying? Setting up a systematic use. We need to systematically use our principles because the principles are life-giving. Well, cooperative economics, collective working responsibility, unity, self-determination, truth, justice, righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And it's like boom, between us, and we got to be selfish with our principle, family, because other people come in and be like, "Oh, you're not living according to your principle, because you're not being fair to me." We gotta understand, just like everybody else, dude. There's an in crowd, there's an out crowd. Motherfucker, these don't necessarily have to apply to you. Now, I'm gonna be as just to you as I possibly can, but don't think I'm gonna do it at the detriment of my group, because it's about us living. Hell with survival. It's time for us to move beyond surviving shit. My grandparents survived. My great grandparents survived. Fuck that. We are the offspring of America, and being the offspring of the richest country on this motherfucking planet, family, it's time for us to start living. I'm just saying. This is what we do in self-mastery and the 21-day Nguzo Saba Challenge. Introduce you to the system, to systems or a system that can introduce you and assist you in getting in touch with your Ashe, enabling you to draw on Ashe that builds your health, ensures and introduces you to your internal wisdom and increase your personal power. That's what life care is about, family, and it's about living a peaceful and joyful life, family, and moving through life in power and health. Living a full life in health. This is possible. This is possible. Get up in the morning with us. Drink you some water. Even if you don't get up with us, just, watch it every night. Drink some water. Salute your ancestors. Take care of your breathing. Take care of your water. Take care of your food and your movement. All this I introduce you to in the Nguzo Saba Challenge. I got culturally appropriate moves for you, cultural appropriate practices for you, and there's more out there. And because we just beginning, y'all. This whole fasting thing. They should never let me run into this shit. But hey, family, this is Brother Tim. It's under 30 minutes. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. All right. So I don't know what we're gonna cover tomorrow, but hey, those that want to know in advance, you need to hit me up at gum.co/GNJ updates. I'm doing daily updates as while I'm on this fast here, right? So I can let you know what's going on with me, let you know what some of the struggles that I'm going through. So those of you that are trying to decide whether or not you're going to do the Nguzo Saba Challenge, you know what I'm saying? You can look at what I'm going through with my extra stuff, right? Those that subscribe to that, you're going to have direct access to me, and we could communicate over the phone or over email or whatever. I mean, most of y'all that's on this anyway, y'all got direct access to me if you want, because I respond to all my comments, or at least I try to. And if I'm not, it's because I'm in a situation where I can't. That's the only reason I would not respond to you. I appreciate each and every last one of you. I want to thank you for taking the time. And remember, like, subscribe, and share. And remember to breathe, family. Text somebody in your family and tell them to hydrate. All right, because a lot of our elders, I'm noticing a lot of our elders doing a lot of drinking. I ain't talking about alcohol. They're doing a lot of drinking, but they're not drinking water. We need to start reminding each other to get hydrated. All right? Peace. I'm out. Thank you for watching the video. I want you to subscribe. Click the bird right there, the fiery bird. And I also have a special video just for you right there. And for those that want more information about Nyame Journey, go to our site. It should be right about there. Peace.